Identifying basic laboratory apparatus have become difficult for some students. During the course of this teaching, I'll be showing you most essential and frequently used apparatus and their uses. Note that most of these apparatus are various sizes and capacities. The types to be used depend on the scale of experiments. So the kind of experiment you're carrying out will determine the type you use. That is, the scale of experiment determines the type to be used. Now, let's look at some of the apparatus as I'll be teaching using what they are made of, description, and uses. The first one we're looking at in this series is beaker. Beaker is commonly made up of a Apparatus glass. It is cylinder in shape. It has a flat bottom. It is graduated, that is, it has measurement or it has scale. It is available in various sizes. It is available in various sizes. Let's look at the uses. 1. It is commonly used during experiments that require pouring, for instance, filtration. A graduated beaker can be used to estimate roughly the volume of a solution. Those are the two uses of beaker. So that you use it during experiments that require pouring, for instance, filtration. You can also use beaker, that is the one graduated, that is one that has measurements, to estimate roughly the volume of a solution. Let's go to number 2, flask. Flasks are made up of glass. There are various types. 1, we have the one we call conical flask. We have flat bottom flask, round bottom flask, filtering flask, distillation flask, volumetric flask, and lastly we have rhetoric flask. Let's look at the first one, conical flask. Conical flask has a flat bottom. Some are graduated, that means it has measurement, that is scaling. What do we use it for? Conical flask is commonly used during titration. And secondly, graduated conical flask can be used to estimate the volume of a solution. You can use it during titration. And we can also use it, that is the one that is graduated, the one that has measurements, to estimate the volume of a solution. Let's look at the second one, flat bottom flask and round bottom flask. Both of them are used for boiling. Flat bottom flask and round bottom flask are both used for boiling. The next one we're looking at is filtering flask. It has a short side arm, just as you can see in the picture. It has a short side arm. What do we use it for? It is used for filtration under suction. It is used for filtration under suction. The next one we're looking at is a distillation flask, just as the name implies. We use it for distillation. We use it during distillation process. Distillation flask has a flat or round bottom with slightly long side arm. Distillation flask has a flat or round bottom with a slanting long side arm. What do we use it for? It is used during distillation process. It is used during distillation process. Let's look at volumetric flask. That is what we call volumetric standard flask. It has a flat bottom, pear-shaped, and with a long narrow neck. It has a flat bottom, pear-shaped, and with a long narrow neck. What do we use it for? It is used in preparing standard solution to a specific or definite volume. It is used in preparing standard solution to a specific or definite volume. Rhetoric flask. It is a round bottom flask with a slanting long arm for air condensation. It's a round bottom flask with a slanting long arm for air condensation. It is used in preparation of HNO3, where strong heating is required. It is used in preparation of HNO3, that is trioxonitrate 5 acid, where strong heating is required. Now let's look at test tubes. Test tubes are made up of glass with or without rims. Test tubes are made up of glass with or without rims. There are 2 types of test tube. 1, ignition test tube, and 2, boiling test tubes. Ignition test tubes are short, thick wall, limbless, and small diameter. Ignition tubes are short, thick walled, limbless, and with a short diameter. While boiling tubes are those that are long, thick walled, with rim, and of a large diameter. They are commonly used in qualitative analysis. In chemistry, we have 2 major practical. That is quantitative, which is titration, and the second one is qualitative. So we employ test tube mainly when we're performing quantitative analysis. Number 4, measuring cylinders. Measuring cylinders is made up of glass or plastic, graduated, and with lips. Measuring cylinder is made up of glass or plastic, graduated, and with lip. There are different sizes such as 10 ml, 50 ml, 100 ml, 500 ml, 1000 ml, and so on. Let's look at the use. It is used to measure the volume of solution. Let's look at number 5, burette. Burette has a long graduated cylinder shape. It is a glass tube with a top cork, that is tap. It is designed to measure accurate volume, usually up to 50 centimeter cube. Let's look at the use. It is commonly used during titration. And can be used to transfer various small volumes. So when you on the tap, you can drop the particular volume you want, or maybe during titration where there is color change, you close back the tap. That is what burette is used for. Let's look at pipettes. Pipette and burettes, they go hand in hand. We use both of them in titration. Pipettes are made up of glass tubes. There are different types. Pipettes are made up of glass tubes. There are different types of pipettes, which are graduated pipettes, bulb pipettes, drop-in pipettes, and lastly we have pipettes filler. Now let's take a look at the first one, graduated pipette. Graduated pipette is used to deliver accurately various small volume of solution. It is calibrated just like burette. Graduated pipette is used to deliver accurate various small volumes of solution. It is calibrated just like pipette. The bulb pipettes, or which we call transfer pipette, it is used in transferring accurately definite or specific volume. It is used in transferring accurately definite or specific volume. It is used during titration in transferring a known volume of a solution into a conical flask. It is either 20 ml or 25 ml. Now, let's look at drop-in pipette. It has a rubber tooth. It is used in drop-wise addition of a solution or reagent such as indicator. It is used along with indicator bottle. Pipette filler. Pipette filler is made up of a flexible rubber. It is used in filling the pipettes with a liquid or solution that is corrosive. Pipette filler is made up of a flexible rubber. It is used in filling the pipette with a liquid or solution that is corrosive, so that you don't go and harm yourself with a liquid that is corrosive or solution that is corrosive. So we use pipette filler in doing that, just to fill the pipette. Now let's look at bell jar. A bell jar is made up of a thick glass, cylinder in shape, wide, tall, and usually with a knob or tubular at the top. It is made up of a thick glass, cylinder in shape, wide, tall, usually with a knob or tubular at the top. What do we use it for? It is used in combustion experiment, that is, experiment that involve heating. Lastly, let's look at thermometer. Thermometer is made up of glass with a bulb at one end and filled with mercury. Thermometer is made up of glass with a bulb at one end and filled with mercury. We use it in measuring the temperature of a liquid or a solution. So temperature is used in the lab to measure the temperature. Thermometer is used in the lab to measure the temperature of a liquid or a solution in the lab. Thank you for listening. See you in our next class. We'll be talking about the uses of some of the other apparatus, especially those made up of metals, wood, and plastic. Thank you for staying tuned.